Okay, we're going to get started. Thanks, everybody, for being on the line today. I want to welcome everybody. Rob Hannipole and my partner, Gary Trupo, is the co-founder of Totally Booked Practice, and we're wishing all of you guys and gals a great Passover and Easter and a fun holiday for spring break with your families. And we're looking forward to a real productive call today and providing you with really the simplest strategies, the simplest ways that you can use your status as an expert author right now to get a lot of new patients, to really build that practice, because it's a lot easier than you may think. And it doesn't require a tremendous amount of extra effort, time, money, resources. And prior to really looking at more elaborate ways in terms of things like television and radio, which we have some clients that are doing right now, we really strongly suggest that the key is to really keep it very simple, because you'll get very good results. And I always like to say, as Mike Dooley says, just do all that you can with what you have from where you are, and that really is going to be more than enough. And also, we suggest that after today's call, go back to the website, which is, as most of you know, www.totallybookedpractice.com, and go through and click on the testimonial area, because we have 3 audio testimonials on there that are also really tremendous, very impactful. They'll give you a lot of also good insight and really great information into really easy ways that our current doctors are building their practices, doing great with the program, and they're on audio, so it's really good. Okay, and we're also adding some more testimonials on there so that you could read through. But the audio ones really will teach you a lot. Next, we suggest that once we discuss these strategies, please, it's really important, please commit a plan to writing. And this will really help you to make sure that you're committed to making this program work, and also to engage your staff in the program, because your staff is super important to help you with the whole process, and super important to help us get started. Okay, so the key is to really let the books sell for you. That's what they're really for. They do no good just remaining in the box. No good. We all seen the show Hoarders on cable. The key is to get them out there into the community, and really, in many cases, the books replace your business cards. And also, before we get to these strategies, make sure that your office prominently displays the fact that you are an author, either with a poster of your book in your reception area, or having books in the reception area on easels. But please, you want to always position yourself that you are the expert. You are the go-to doctor. You are the doctor that wrote the book, and that is extremely powerful. Okay? So let's get started right away. And the strategies, first of all, hey, Gary, are you on the line?
Yeah, I sure am, Rob.
Okay. All right, so we're going to start with strategy number 1. And again, it's so simple, but it works. Number 1, just hand out a copy of the book to every single, existing and current patient that you have. And the reason being that the patients will be totally impressed the fact that their doctor, the chiropractor that they go to, wrote a book. And actually, they'll be proud, because many of these current patients would love to have their family, their friends, their coworkers come and see you, but they don't have the tools. They don't have our background. They don't know how to actually explain, what we do as well as we do, or our staff does. So they're not getting us the referrals, because a business card doesn't do the trick. A business card really does nothing. But the fact that they're impressed and proud that you have the book, that really is the vehicle that they now have, to get you the referrals. The business card is not a strong tool. The book is such a strong tool that they can actually be confident to share with other people. All right? So it totally takes the responsibility of the patient, away in terms of the why. Why you need to see my doctor. I'm getting such good results. I don't have headaches anymore. I don't have back pain anymore. But they don't know how to explain it, because a lot of people are still stuck in that medical model. They don't know how to explain chiropractic as, we think it's simple, but they don't. So what happens is, the fact that you've handed this book to the patient, and the patient, shows the book to a current one of their friends or associates or family member, that's just a great vehicle for you to get referrals. And what some of our doctors are doing is they're actually handing out 2 copies of the book to the existing and current patients, and actually saying things like, I'd love for you to have a copy of my book, please read it, and maybe even pointing out some pages that may be pertinent to their specific condition or their need, and also giving them a second copy and saying, sure, Mary, I'm sure that you know other people that can really benefit what we're doing here, and I'd love for you to share this with somebody else. And guess what? They're going to do it, and they do it. Okay? So it gives them a really easy way for them to endorse us and endorse our services. So, again, simplest thing that you can do. The second strategy is to hand out a copy to every single new patient that comes to your office. And it's your choice, based upon your specific office procedures and how you run your office on, when you want handed out. I prefer to give the book after the first visit and prior to the report of findings, because what I'll do is give a patient a copy of the book, and I will point to certain pages or certain areas or certain chapters and say, hey, this really is something I want you to read, and let's discuss this when you come in tomorrow for your report of findings. Gary, how do you do it?
Well, what we do is when a new patient comes into our office, my front desk PA, Lisa, what she does is as soon as they come into the office after they've signed in, she hands them one of our books immediately, and to let them know that I'm a published author. What that does is it positions yourself as an expert even before they come back to see you. So what I find is that by being perceived as the expert, the relationship that I have with the patient is much stronger right from the beginning. So that's why I do it that way.
Right. They're definitely more impressed. I'm sure we've all, know that there are a lot of people out there that still don't really understand what we do fully, don't really understand chiropractic. They may even be a little skeptical. And the book really takes that away. It gives them more confidence in us. And they're also, I find, a lot more engaged at the report of findings, where they'll be asking more questions or they will refer to the book. And once again, it's another opportunity that they can share with their family, share with friends. They may bring the book home to a spouse that doesn't really know much about what we do and say, hey, this is my doctor. This is who I go to. And what we find in many cases is now that spouse that may have been maybe a little skeptical, maybe a little cynical, maybe neither, but what happens is the spouse then sometimes we'll start coming in or set up an appointment for the following week because you must be going to the recognized expert. You must be going to the authority. So you know what? That's the one I'm going to go to. Many times, that resistant coworker or resistant friend also will make an appointment solely based upon the fact that you've gained that credibility in their eyes because that's what a book does for you. I heard a statement recently, and I thought it rang so true because what somebody said is, you really don't become wealthy by writing a book and selling it. You become very wealthy and successful, because of your book and how you use the book, and that's what we're trying to teach. Because also a lot of our clients, ask, how can we sell it, and we do have people that sell it, but that's not really the purpose. The purpose is that you get it out to as many people as possible, and that's where you're really going to create the success. The third way that we use the book, again in the simplest format, is that, and this is for you and your staff, and this is something that you definitely want to engage your staff in, but every place in your area, in your community, in your hometown where your office is, everywhere that you frequent, you and your staff should always be giving the servers, the workers, copy of the book. So, for example, restaurants, banks, gyms, convenience stores, and a perfect example to a restaurant server, that I do all the time is, I thank them. I say, thank you. Your service was great. The food was great today. I recently wrote a book, and I'd love to give you a copy. And many times they'll look and say, well, this is great. How much is it? And I say, no, this is a gift. This is for you for free. And they're really, really impressed, and they have a lot of gratitude and very thankful. And also what happens in many cases is at this point they'll even start opening up to me, and they'll say things like, I've been having this neck pain recently, or actually recently I was at an Italian restaurant and the server told me about the auto accident that she had about a week ago. So, this is a way that they open up, and it's very, very powerful. Remember, the book is so impressive because it has that price on it. We recommend that most people put the $19.95 price. It has the ISBN code. So, you're giving them something of value, and because of that, they're appreciative, and they're coming back to us and actually telling us, this is what's going on, this is what I'm experiencing, can you help me with this? I don't really know much about chiropractic, what can you teach me? And it's a perfect opportunity that you can even, make an appointment, right then and there. So that has actually been fantastic. And if the appointment is not made initially, it is a perfect opportunity to really develop that relationship. So when you go back to the restaurant, what will happen is sometimes another server will come by and say, oh, I saw that, you're the doctor that gave Mary that book. You know what? I've been having some back pain. And again, you get to know everybody. It's a great door opener. It's a great way to just really, tear down the walls and create friendships and create relationships. So you're really likely, to get, a lot of new patients, just by taking, this kind of action and putting this kind of, energy out there. And it's all about the perceived value. The book is not something that you give to somebody and they throw it away. It is highly, highly, highly unlikely that that's going to happen. But that's what happens with a business card. So what happens with the book is when this server or this merchant or this cashier, when they take the book home with them, it remains on the coffee table, it remains, on the shelf at their home, and when they perceive that they actually have the need, when their pain, becomes greater, when they feel they need to do something about some issue, they don't have to go to the yellow pages. They don't have to go online. They're going to remember, yeah, I know a chiropractor. Matter of fact, he comes in all the time, or I'm friendly with him, and, I have his book right here, or her book right here, and this is who I'm going to call. So, it's a great relationship builder. An example is, basically even 6 or 7 or 8 months later after handing books out, we've gotten new patients. And, because obviously, and all you guys are doing this, I'm sure, but your staff is asking, how did you hear about our office? And they'll say, why, the doc gave me a book, 7 months ago when, he was at the restaurant, one day. And it's something that they don't throw away. So it's an advertisement, it's a promotion that's just always there and will be used when, the receiver feels that at that moment, they have a need. The other great thing about that is that other people that are in their lives that may come over their homes, that may come over to their place of business, will also see the copy of the book, and it's another great opportunity for them to talk about you if they're saying that they're having headaches, they're taking all this medication, or it's an opportunity for them to just pick it up and say, hey, who is this doctor, and make a call and make an appointment. Okay? The other thing to do also is when you're handing out these books, you want to personalize them and sign the books, with things such as, for example, Lisa, here's to helping you create incredible health, Dr. Rob, or Mark, here's to helping you to resolve your headaches, Dr. Trupo. Personalize the books to them, and if you have enough information from them, really important to personalize it to the specific needs that they spoke to you about. So if they're talking about back pain or neck pain or a recent accident or an injury or a fall or another general health issue, you can actually write that in your little personalization note to them so they know, oh, you know what, he was compassionate enough and understanding enough to, he listened to me, and he actually, put that in there. I want to give him a call or give her a call. So that works really tremendously. The next strategy, which is really preeminent, extremely important, is, you position yourself in your community as the expert doctor that wrote the book on chiropractic, or whatever specialization, is on the cover of your book. You position yourself. And what you do is, everything that you do marketing-wise, you always include the fact that you're an author in the book, because most state boards, if not all, do not let us say in any advertising, and there's hefty fines and some severe penalties for saying, especially I know in Florida, that you specialize in anything unless you have some type of advanced certification, advanced degree, advanced schooling, that they specifically recognize. Well, the beauty here is that the book and a picture, of your book on all of your promotion materials, all of your advertising, well, that's the implication. That's what the public perceives. If you're the author, then they perceive that, well, then you must be, the expert. And I think, Gary, didn't you have a situation where recently a new patient called you, and again, you said, how did you find us? And she said something about the yellow pages, and you must be the expert.
Right. Well, we get it all the time as far as our, people, we get most of our referrals here in our practice from our book, from handing out our book and everything we do. But we also have our book. We actually have business cards with our book on it. If you look on our website, the first thing you see as soon as you open it up is a large picture of the book. I also write articles in the local newspaper, and there's a large picture of my book with the articles. So what I really wanted to do is trademark myself as the guy who wrote the book on chiropractic. So what we can do for you, and we actually have all the images already of your books. What we do is turn your book into a 3D image, and then that's what you guys can use. So if you need to get a copy of your 3D image of your book, we already have those. So all you have to do, Rob, the best way for them to get that is to contact you at your website.
Right. Just email me, Dr. Dr. Hanopole, HANOPOLE at totallybookedpractice.com, and we have beautiful 3D images of everybody's book cover that, if you don't have it already, I'll send it to you. And this is something that, again, you should use on all of your print, whether it is, if you're still using business cards, I would put it on there. Any kind of gift certificates, any kind of postcards, newspaper.
Put it on your website, sure.
What's that?
Definitely put it on your website. That's really
definitely the website.
Lots of people have said they've gone to my website and they see that, they're looking at all these different chiropractors and they see, wow, I'm the guy who wrote the book. It's right there. It's big. It's actually saying, they're looking at different chiropractors, and obviously if they're referred in, that's a different story. But if they don't know any of the different chiropractors, if they look on the websites and they see one guy that's written the book, what you're really doing is you're positioning yourself as the expert. We hear that day after day after day. You're the guy, you're the expert, because I've written a book, and that is really powerful.
And also on the advertising, you also want to put some language, something like, find out how to receive a copy of or a free copy of, Dr. Smith's book. Again, just say yes to, Incredible Health and Wellness, whatever the name is. But you always want to have some type of call to action on there. Again, if you don't have a copy of the image, please just, contact me. at Dr. Hannapol at totallybookpractice.com, and we'll get it to you. And there are some other things we'll go over in a few minutes that I can also send to you that will help you with this also. The fifth strategy is something that Gary started to do, and it's been working phenomenal for him. So, Gary, if you want to go over it, it's with the gift certificate program.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Well, all these things that we've talked about so far are great. These are all things to do within your practice. And then we came up with the idea to have an outside marketing person. And in my case, I use my current existing staff to do this. And so what they do is they go out into the public and they hand out the books to different businesses. Now, the whole idea is to get out to as many different types of businesses that you can. Now, Lisa, who is she is actually my front desk chiropractic assistant, but she also serves as the outside marketing person. So what I have her here with me today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have her go over a few of the things that we do and how it's successful. So I'm going to hand this over to Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa. A few things that I do as far as marketing for Dr. Trupa's practice. There's 4 different categories that I've broken down my marketing into, but I'll start at the beginning here. First, when I go in anywhere, I always introduce myself, and I go in with an upbeat, positive, motivated attitude. I introduce myself. Hi, I'm Lisa with Cape Chiropractic. How are you today? And then they answer me, and then I'm like, well, I said, I'm here today. I have a few things to offer you, and I work for Cape Chiropractic, the world's greatest chiropractor, which is Dr. Gary Trupo. And I said, well, do you have a few minutes that I can speak with you? And then it's usually a manager or somebody at the front desk that's like, sure. And I find that everybody is very receptive. I really don't have a problem as far as getting time to speak with anybody. So then I go from there. And first off, I find that I get a lot of response, say, like if I go to a gym which has a huge customer base, and you figure, anybody that goes to a gym like myself is going to be there 3 or 4 times at least, per week. So I introduce, what I have to offer. I just say, well, Dr. Trupa wrote a book about a year ago, and I said, if you don't mind, I'd like to leave a few copies with you. And they're like, oh, sure, that's fine. I'm like, great, thank you so much. And I'm like, in addition to that, we also have some gift certificates that we're going to leave with you. And our gift certificates just basically offer you a complimentary chiropractic consultation, which most people are very, very thrilled to get. So along with the book, I give them that. And so most people say at the gym will leave them on the counter, but they also will put them in the locker rooms, which is a great place. If somebody just happens to glance at it, you know that in 2 days they're going to be back in the locker room again, and they might just take like an additional 15 seconds to pick up a gift certificate or a book. So I find that's a pretty good, marketing strategy as far as going to the gym. And then I usually, with the retail stores, it's basically the same thing. I go in and introduce myself, and I usually ask for a manager on duty, and, that's no problem. Somebody always takes the time to speak with me. And I do the same thing. I offer them the book and the gift certificate. And I find with them, most of the responses, I'd say probably 80% of the time, they're like, oh, that's fabulous. I'll go ahead and put it in the break room. And, yeah, we've got a lot of people, here that have a lot of aches and pains, And so from being, I think, on their feet all day is basically the response I usually get is, oh, it's the back. So that's a good, a good area there that, I usually get pretty good success with. And then basically, the auto body, anything that's automotive, I try to target them as well. You figure most people, automotive, whether it's going to like a body shop, a car wash, a towing service, tire places, most people's position is they're kind of bent at the waist, pretty much the better part of the day. So that's a good, market to hit as far as, trying to build up your client or your patient. So I find that most people basically put the book and the gift certificate in the waiting area of those businesses. And then there's a fourth area that I try to target, and that's medical doctors and attorneys, but I kind of have a different approach with them. With them, you're trying to really introduce yourself as an expert, and you basically want to build up credibility and maybe referral with the medical doctor and attorney. So I don't hand out gift certificates there. I just, explain about the book and about Dr. Trupo, and so it kind of, that's a little bit different approach there. And then as far as going into like the summer season, if we ever do get any kind of a spring or summer, the golf courses are also a good place to market. You figure that, golfers that they haven't played all winter and now they're back out on the course, so they're bound to have some aches and pains. So that's a good area also to try to market. And so I basically just use the same approach that I do at the gyms and the retail stores. And so you find a lot of people will put the books in the pro shops, and it just, so it's available for people that come in there. And so that's pretty much what I try to target when I go out marketing.
And Lisa, what is it that you offer on the gift certificates?
I'm sorry?
If you could let everyone know what the offer is on the gift certificate.
Oh, it's for a complimentary chiropractic consultation.
And you stick that right inside the book like a bookmark?
Well, I usually give them like a stack of them, and especially like in retail, I say, oh, well, how many coworkers do you have today? Whoever I'm speaking with. And I'll say, oh, we've got, 10 people coming in today. I'm like, great. So I hand them 10 gift certificates, and I'm like, well, you can give these to your coworkers today, and, and our numbers on there if you need any more. So it's basically just for the chiropractic consultation. But we find that when they get the gift certificate, when they come in for the consultation, they want to go ahead and have the exam and be treated the same day. So it kind of is a it's just a lead in to, that's what I basically find, that, once they get the consultation and, find out, wow, Dr. Trupo, he really can help me, whether it's, headaches, if my shoulder's hurting, if I have TMJ, anything like that. So the consultation is great because it definitely leads to, a plan of treatment.
Yeah, and we also use, certificates. We have bookmarks that are certificates, and also for everyone on the line, what we can do is, again, when you email me, I can send you an image of the gift certificate bookmark, or if you want more of a certificate that Gary's using, we can get you a copy of that also. But what we do is we actually stick it inside the book, and when I hand the books out, or when staff hands the books out, they're just already in there. So, it's another opportunity for that person to share even with somebody else. And we even do that when we hand it to our existing patients and new patients. Again, it gives that second opportunity to, get another patient or a family. Okay, so, that's how it works. But everybody can do it a little bit differently. That was great. Do you have anything more to add on that?
It's just a great way to build your practice. I mean, it's super exciting to do it this way. What will happen is just the other day I had a patient who came in and she said that she picked up my book at a shoe store. They said the shoe store had a stack of my books there, and then not only did they have a stack of books, the person that works there recommended me as the chiropractor to go see. So that was great. And the person that was recommending me wasn't even one of my patients. One of my patients actually does own the shoe store, but the person there recommended this person. They also, I was in a sporting goods store there recently to buy a pair of cleats for my sons for soccer. And the girl at the cash register said, oh, we just ran out of all of your books. I didn't even know my books were even there because of what Lisa had done. She had brought them everywhere, and they said they had been without my books for a couple of days, and they wanted to know they asked me if they could have more of my books on their counter because they give them out to everybody. So I don't know how many patients I've gotten from them having the books there. I get them from the gyms all the time, multiple gyms all the time. So people tell me, my friends around town say, I see your books everywhere. And not only once, they say they see them multiple times at different businesses, all the way from retail stores to medical doctors to attorneys to gyms. They're everywhere. Plus, all the marketing I do, I write some articles. My book is the first thing. I put the book right there, so everybody knows, and that I wrote the book on chiropractic. So it's extremely powerful. I can't say enough. It's super exciting. You just got to do it. It's just a great way to to build up your credibility as an expert. And you can build up your credibility as an expert very quickly by doing this.
The next strategy would be to, and we can go through this one quickly, but use at all outside events and screenings. This is pretty self-explanatory, but now every time you do some type of spinal screening, health and wellness fair, if you go there armed with stacks of the books, it even makes it that much more impactful and that much more powerful. And it's actually great that you can, at this point, again, hand out signed copies at all of the events. You can even give a copy to anyone that makes an appointment. There's all different strategies that you can use, as well as having even a specific time that you're going to actually do a book signing. So you can be at the event, you can show a poster of the book or have copies of the book and say, Dr. Smith is going to be available between the hours of 3 and 4:30 for a book signing. He'll sign a copy of the book for you and give you a copy. And again, another great opportunity for that person to have the screening to come back, and if they didn't make an appointment, to tell other people to come over to the booth, because again, they're getting something of value. So that really works really well. The seventh and final strategy today is something that has worked extremely effective, and this is to use the book and your status as an author for reactivations. For select reactivations for specific patients that you haven't seen in a while and you have a good relationship with, what you want to do is you want to sign the book or include it with a note that you are concerned about them. You're concerned that you haven't seen them in a while. And, with a call to action for them to call you and come into the office, but actually to send them as a gift. And that works extremely well. For a larger reactivation program, what we have done is we send a postcard, a special postcard, with a picture, again, that 3D image of the book on the postcard with something that says, "We miss you, we're concerned about your health, please come in for a wellness checkup, and when you come in, receive a free copy of my book. Just say yes to chiropractic," or whatever the name of your book is, but with the offer. And a lot of these people or patients that haven't seen you in a while get really excited that you wrote a book and they'd love to come and see you. A lot of these patients aren't coming in if there's really not even a good reason. It's not that they didn't like the care or didn't get good results. They just get busy with other things going on in their lives. So when you send them a reactivation postcard with a picture of your book on there, it just gives them that motivation and incentive. And again, they feel proud and happy that hey, my doc, he wrote the book. I want to go see him. I haven't seen him in a while, or her. So we actually have JPEG file of my reactivation postcard that I've used. Again, go to Dr. Hanapole at totallybookedpractice.com. It's HANOPOLE. And I'll be happy to send that to you. So we have the example of the postcards, example of the bookmarks with the complimentary consultation on there that you should put in the books. You can get an example of certificates. So there's all these different really simple strategies and simple things that you can do that are going to really make this program work for you. So just please be sure to email me, and I'll definitely get you out a sample. Also, what happens, and Gary, what you were saying was, your book is everywhere in town, and everybody starts to know you. I've told a few of the doctors this, but not everybody. And I had a situation at Starbucks a few months ago, which was I was standing online, and there was a new person working behind the counter, and I didn't recognize them, but they recognized me. And I never saw this person before. But what came across, and it was a busy day, and there was a long line, but what came across was, "Hey, Dr. Rob, how come I don't have a copy of your book?" And I was floored. I said, "Oh, my God, I cannot believe the power of that," because I had no idea who this person was. So obviously I went out to the car, and I got a couple copies of the book and gave a copy, and then other people in line started asking me questions about what I do and where I practice, and gave some copies of the book out. So, in closing, all it takes is a small amount of effort not a lot of time, not a lot of money, and you really will become the most highly recognized and regarded chiropractor in your area. Just following those simple 7 steps without even talking or discussing, things like, television and radio, and, you don't even need that unless you really want to. And we don't discourage it, but it's not even a need. And also when it comes to business cards, they're really of very little value. But if you're going to use business cards, please, put a picture of your book on your business card. It will just make that business card so much more valuable, and also will encourage people to ask, can I get a copy of your book? So the return on the investment here is just huge, and it's just a matter of putting some energy into it. Thanks for everyone being on the call. Gary and I did come up with a promotion for everybody because we want to get the chiropractic message out there more to all the communities, because the really bigger picture here for what we're doing is, we know if we have thousands of chiropractors all with their own books, getting their communities turned on to what we do and turned on to chiropractic, and getting them off the unnecessary medications, we'll have a lot healthier society, a lot healthier world. So Gary, if you want, why don't you just discuss the promotion that we're offering?
Sure. For the month of April, we have a referral program, and for any of your friends, I'm sure you guys have a lot of colleagues that live in other cities than where you practice, that they could really benefit from this system. For any of your chiropractic friends that you refer in and they sign up for our program in the month of April, when you guys do a reorder for new books, we're going to give you 200 additional books for every doctor that you refer in. So if you refer in 2 doctors for your next reorder, we're going to give you an additional 400 books on your next reorder. And if you refer in 4 doctors, we're going to give you an additional 800 books on your next reorder. And this is a promotion that we're running with you guys for the month of April. So tell all your chiropractic friends, about this program, how wonderful it is, and then just remember that your area is exclusive to you, so you don't have to worry. There's nobody going to be in your area with a book similar to you. So I'm sure you have friends that you went to school with in other cities and other locations. As long as those areas are open, then they'll have access to this. This program is growing, so there are some areas that obviously your zip codes are closed, mine's closed, others will be closed. So just, tell your friends about it. This is a promotion we're running for the month of April. Just also remember, you can always contact myself or Rob or anybody with our company and ask us really any questions as far as how to promote this, how to make this work so you are perceived as the expert and so you get a ton of new patients. And just remember, you can call our 888 number. That's 888-243-2661. I'm also going to give you my cell phone. If you want to contact me directly, you can contact me anytime. And that's at area code 904-303-7124. That's 904-303-7124. I look forward to talking to a lot of you guys and helping you out.
And this is Rob. My number is 954-296-8473. It's 954-296-8473. And Gary, I think it's a good time now that we can unmute. And if anybody has any questions, we can answer them right now. Okay, so I'm going to unmute the phones and let's take it from there.